Look around your bedroom right now and ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. Is this room truly the sacred sanctuary of rest you think it is, or has it slowly transformed into a silent danger zone that is aging your brain and straining your heart while you sleep? We all want to believe that when we close our eyes at night and pull up the covers, we are in the safest place on earth. We've been taught our whole lives that sleep is just a passive state, like turning off a lamp, where the body simply shuts down to wait for the morning. But I have to tell you the truth, and as a medical specialist who has spent more than 30 years caring for people just like you, this is the most important thing you will hear today. In my clinic, I see a tragic pattern repeating itself every single week. I see men and women in their 60s and 70s who are struggling with chronic fatigue that never goes away. They have that annoying brain fog that makes them feel like they're losing their edge, and blood pressure that stays stubbornly high no matter what they eat or what pills they take. They think they're just getting old, but they aren't. They are being systematically sabotaged by their own environment. You see, your bedroom is the most important room in your house for your health. It is where your body is supposed to do its heavy lifting and its deep repair work. If that environment is compromised, your health will be too, and no amount of medication can fix a broken recovery environment. You are likely surrounded by 5 specific objects right now that are making it biologically impossible for your body to perform that repair. I want you to imagine your brain is a large, busy office building. During the day, workers are everywhere, making a mess, leaving trash in the bins, and scuffing up the floors. At night, when everyone goes home, a very special janitor crew is supposed to come in. This crew is called the glymphatic system. Their only job is to wash away the toxic trash proteins, like beta amyloid, that build up in your brain during the day. These are the exact same toxins that scientists have linked directly to Alzheimer's and dementia. But here is the catch. This janitor crew is incredibly picky, and they only work under very specific conditions. The janitor crew will only start working if the building is completely dark, perfectly cool, and totally quiet. If you have even one of the 5 items I'm about to reveal in your room, you are essentially locking the doors and telling that janitor crew to go home. You are leaving that toxic trash to pile up in your brain night after night, year after year. Today we are going to change that. We are going to go through your bedroom together, and I am going to show you exactly what needs to go so you can finally shield your health and get the true restorative sleep your body is desperately screaming for. And stay with me, because the 4th object on our list is something that almost every single one of you considers a healthy habit. Before we reveal the first invisible saboteur, do me a quick favor. If you want to take back control of your health and stop being a victim of these hidden killers, click that like button right now. It helps me reach more people who are being kept in the dark by the modern world. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a life-saving update. I want you to go down to the comments right now and type the word Sleep Sanctuary if you are ready to make a change today. Your energy tomorrow begins with the decisions you make tonight. It is time to stop being a passive observer of your own aging and start being the architect of your longevity. Let's start with the first item right now. Let's talk about the first item, and I can almost guarantee it is sitting less than 20 inches away from your head as you watch this. It is your cell phone. Now, I know what you're thinking because I hear it in my consultation room every single day. People say to me, Dr. Kent, I need it for emergencies. What if my kids call? What if there's a problem with the grandkids? I understand that fear. I'm a father and a grandfather too. But let me be very direct with you. Having that phone next to your bed is one of the worst acts of self-sabotage you can commit against your brain. The danger here isn't just the radiation or the loud notifications. It is a silent thief called high-energy blue light. Think of it like this. Your brain has a tiny gland called the pineal gland. Its only job is to wait for the sun to go down so it can start pumping out a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is the signal that tells your heart to slow down and your brain to start its cleaning process. It is the master key that unlocks the door to deep sleep. But when you pick up that phone to check one last message or scroll through the news, that bright screen launches a jet of concentrated blue light straight into your pupils. To your brain, that light looks exactly like the equatorial midday sun. Your brain slams on the emergency brakes. It stops producing melatonin instantly. It screams to your entire body, "Wake up, it's noon, stay alert." I recently worked with a 68-year-old person who was experiencing a terrifying situation. This individual was convinced they had early-stage dementia. They were forgetting where they put their keys, they were becoming increasingly irritable with their family, and their spouse said they seemed dimmer than they used to be. After performing several neurological tests, it turned out that physically, this person was perfectly fine. The real issue came out when we discussed their nighttime routine. They were spending 30 minutes every single night reading the news on their phone while lying in bed to wind down. I instructed them to move that phone to the kitchen at 8 p.m. and buy a simple $5 battery-operated alarm clock. 2 weeks later, this person walked into my clinic looking like they had aged in reverse. They told me the cloud in their head had completely vanished. They wasn't losing their mind. Their brain was just being starved of repair because they were drowning it in blue light every night. Your brain cannot repair itself if it thinks it's daytime. When you suppress melatonin, you also increase your insulin resistance. This means that even if you're eating well, your blood sugar will be higher the next morning just because you looked at your phone at midnight. Tonight, that phone sleeps in another room. If you are worried about emergencies, turn the volume up so you can hear it from the hallway, but keep that blue light away from your eyes. Believe me, that extra 30 feet of distance could be the difference between a sharp mind and a foggy one. The second object on our list is a close cousin to the phone, and it's been a staple in bedrooms for 40 years. It's the digital alarm clock with those glowing red or green numbers. We keep them there because we want to feel in control. We want to know exactly what time it is if we wake up in the night. But that control is a lie that generates massive amounts of hidden stress. Let's look at the biology of what happens when you wake up at 2:45 in the morning. Maybe you just needed to shift positions or you heard a noise outside. The very first thing you do, by instinct, is look at the clock. You see those red numbers staring back at you and the panic begins. Instantly, your rational mind starts racing. You think, "Oh no, I've only been asleep for 3 hours. I have to be up at 7. If I don't fall back asleep in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be a wreck tomorrow. I'll be cranky at lunch. I won't be able to drive safely." In that moment, you have just activated your sympathetic nervous system. This is your fight or flight system. Your brain thinks you are being chased by a predator. It releases cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure spikes, and your muscles tense. You are now biologically wired, and because your body is flooded with stress hormones, falling back asleep becomes almost impossible. You lie there for an hour, staring at the ceiling. I call this sleep performance anxiety. It's a major cause of chronic hypertension in seniors. Think about it. Your blood pressure is supposed to dip by 10 to 20% at night. This is what protects your arteries from hardening and prevents strokes. But if you are staring at a clock and panicking, your blood pressure stays high. Over months and years, this leads to a non-dipping blood pressure pattern, which is one of the strongest predictors of a cardiac event. The solution is so simple, it's almost funny. Tonight, I want you to turn that clock around. Face the numbers toward the wall or the floor. You will still hear the alarm in the morning, but you will be granted the gift of temporal ignorance. If you wake up in the night, you won't know if it's 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. Your mind will stay calm, your heart will stay slow, and you will find yourself drifting back into a dream in minutes. I've seen this one tiny move, just turning a clock around, reduce nighttime anxiety in my patients more than any prescription pill ever could. It stops the panic and lets the body do its job. We need to stop being slaves to the minutes and start being masters of our rest. Your biological clock doesn't need to see those red numbers to keep you healthy. In fact, seeing them is what breaks the clock. Reclaim your peace by simply hiding the time from your eyes until the sun comes up. Now we are moving to the third item, and this one is something we usually associate with pure comfort. I'm talking about your electric blanket. On a cold winter night, there is nothing that feels better than getting into a pre-warmed bed. It soothes your back, it helps your knees, and it feels like a warm hug. But there is a very specific biological reason why leaving that blanket on all night is a disaster for your heart and your brain. Our bodies are designed to work like a refrigerator, to go into deep, slow-wave sleep, the kind of sleep that repairs your heart and lowers your risk of a stroke. Your core body temperature must drop by about 2 to 3 degrees. Your body needs to shed heat to enter repair mode. Think of your heart like an engine. If you keep the engine running hot all night, it never gets a chance to cool down and lubricate itself. When you leave an electric blanket on, you are creating an artificial microclimate that keeps your body temperature too high. Your brain stays in a state of metabolic alert because it's trying to figure out how to cool you down. You might stay technically asleep, but you are stuck in the lightest, most superficial phase of sleep. You spend the whole night tossing and turning, and you wake up feeling like you've been through a marathon. You might think you've rested because your eyes were closed, but your cells were still fighting the heat. This is a battle you cannot win while sleeping. Consider the case of a 71-year-old person I treated who suffered from chronic leg cramps at night. This individual used an electric blanket on high to help soothe the pain. However, they were waking up nearly 10 times every single night and feeling uncomfortably parched. We switched them to a preheating routine and provided heavy wool socks for the feet instead. Not only did the cramps improve because the body's natural temperature regulation was allowed to manage the circulation, but they finally slept through the night for the first time in a decade. They realized that the heat they thought was helping them was actually the very thing keeping them awake. It was a classic case of a comfort habit becoming a health hazard. I want you to have that warmth, but we have to use it strategically. I call this the preheat and disconnect protocol. Turn the blanket on 20 minutes before you get into bed. Let the sheets get nice and toasty. But the moment your feet touch those sheets, you turn the blanket off. And I want you to go one step further. Physically unplug it from the wall. This ensures the blanket doesn't continue to emit residual heat that blocks your deep sleep. If you find yourself getting cold in the early morning hours, use layers of natural fibers like wool or heavy cotton. Layers allow your body to self-regulate. You are the boss of your temperature, not a heating element. Remember, a cool body is a healing body. We have reached the fourth object, and as I promised, this is the one that is the biggest surprise of all. It is the simple glass of water you keep on your nightstand. Now please hear me clearly. I am a doctor, and I want you to stay hydrated. Dehydration is a major problem for seniors, leading to confusion, urinary tract infections, and kidney issues. But when you drink that water is the difference between a sharp brain and a foggy one. Many people keep a glass of water right by their bed and take a few big gulps every time they wake up. They think they're being healthy, but what they are actually doing is inviting a condition called nocturia. This is the need to get up and urinate. For a person over 60, getting out of bed at 3 a.m. is one of the most dangerous things you can do. Most hip fractures and serious falls happen during these midnight trips. You're groggy, your blood pressure might drop when you stand up. We call this orthostatic hypotension, and your eyes aren't adjusted to the dark. One slip, and your life changes forever. But even if you don't fall, every time your bladder wakes you up, you are violently pulling the emergency brake on your sleep cycle. A full sleep cycle takes about 90 minutes. You need to go through 4 or 5 of these cycles to get the brain-cleaning benefits we talked about. If you wake up to pee every 2 hours, you are restarting the entire process. If you wake up every couple of hours, you never ever reach the deep cleaning phase. You are essentially living on light sleep only, which is why you feel so exhausted the next day. I remember a 75-year-old person who came to see me because of terrible balance issues and dizzy spells during the day. This person was getting up 4 times every night to drink water and go to the bathroom. We moved their hydration schedule entirely to the morning and afternoon. Within 3 nights, they were only getting up once. A week later, they were sleeping all the way through the night. Their balance improved dramatically because they were no longer in a state of constant sleep drunkenness during the day. They finally felt steady on their feet again. You need to front load your hydration. Drink your water between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., I want you to shut off the tap. Only take small sips if you have a genuinely dry mouth or if you need to take a pill. Take that glass of water off your nightstand completely. If you remove the visual temptation, you will stop the habit of drinking out of boredom when you wake up. Empty your bladder right before you hit the pillow. If you do this, you can reclaim those precious hours of deep sleep and keep your feet safely on the ground. Hydration is a tool for the daytime, but at night, your body needs to focus on filtration and repair, not processing more fluid. Finally, we come to the fifth and final invisible saboteur. I call this the silent light conspiracy. I'm talking about all those tiny blinking LED lights on your electronics, the Wi-Fi router, the television standby light, the charging indicator on your laptop, or even the light on your air purifier. We live in a world of electronic fog. You might think these lights are too small to matter, but your body is much more sensitive than you realize. Even when your eyes are closed, your eyelids are incredibly thin. Your brain has light-sensing cells that can detect even a tiny pinprick of green or blue light in a dark room. This light sends a message to your nervous system that the environment is active and you should remain vigilant. This light keeps your brain in a state of low-level vigilance, like a soldier on guard duty. You aren't fully awake, but you aren't fully resting either. Think back to how our ancestors slept for thousands of years. They slept in caves and huts that were pitch black. That total heavy darkness is the only environment where your body produces the maximum amount of growth hormone and cellular repair chemicals. When you have 5 or 6 little lights blinking in your room, you are muting that repair signal. It's like trying to listen to a soft piece of music while someone is whispering in your ear. You can't hear the symphony of repair because the noise of the lights is in the way. It is time to restore the silence. Tonight, I want you to perform Operation Blackout. Get a roll of black electrical tape. It costs $2 at the hardware store. Go around your bedroom and put a tiny square of tape over every single light you see. The router, the TV, the power strip, all of it. If you have a street lamp outside your window that you can't control, buy a high-quality, soft silk sleep mask. It is the best investment you can make for your longevity. When you achieve total, absolute darkness, you are giving your body the permission it needs to heal your heart, repair your skin, and sharpen your mind. Don't let these tiny electronic eyes stare at you all night. Cover them up and reclaim the power of the dark. I want you to take a moment and think about everything we've talked about today. I know it can feel overwhelming to think about changing your routine. We are creatures of habit, and we've been doing these things for decades. But I want you to picture your life 10 years from now. Do you want to be the person who is struggling to remember names, sitting in a doctor's office with uncontrolled blood pressure and feeling like every day is a struggle? Or do you want to be the person who is traveling, playing with your grandkids, and feeling a sense of vitality and energy that shocks your friends? The difference between those two futures isn't just luck or genetics. It is the environment you create every night. I have seen so many people transform their lives by making these 5 simple changes. Take, for example, a 74-year-old person I saw last year who was taking 3 different medications for blood pressure. Despite the medicine, their readings were always high. We didn't change the pills, we changed the bedroom environment. We moved the phone, turned the clock, managed the hydration, and blacked out the lights. Within 1 month, this person's blood pressure dropped so significantly that their primary doctor actually had to reduce their medications. They weren't sick, they were just biologically exhausted. Their body was under constant stress because it never got to finish its nightly repairs. Once we fixed the environment, the body fixed itself. This is the power of natural biology. It's about respecting the biological rules that your body has lived by for thousands of years. We didn't evolve to sleep with blue lights, glowing clocks, and electric heaters. We evolved to sleep in the dark, in the cool, and in the quiet. Tonight, I don't want you to try to do all 5 at once if that feels like too much. Start with the two easiest ones. Move the phone and turn the clock. That's it. See how you feel tomorrow morning. Then, the next night, try the water schedule. Then the blackout tape. Build your sanctuary piece by piece. There is no rush, but there is an urgency. Every night you spend in a compromised environment is another night your brain goes uncleaned. If this video opened your eyes, please do me one more favor. Share this with one person you love. We all have a friend or a sibling who is struggling with their health and they don't know why. They think it's just age or bad luck. You might just save a life or prevent a stroke by hitting that share button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and leave a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Tell me which of these 5 items was the biggest surprise for you. Tell me what happened when you moved your phone. I read your comments because I am in this fight with you. I want to see you thriving, not just surviving into your later years. I am so incredibly proud of you for staying here until the very end. Most people don't have the attention span to learn how to truly take care of themselves, but you do. You are the captain of your own ship, and you are taking the wheel. Keep that momentum going. Every small change you make is a victory for your health. Every night you sleep deeply is a gift to your future self. It is an investment in your brain, your heart, and your happiness. You have worked hard your whole life. You deserve a room that works just as hard for you while you rest. It is time to treat your sleep with the respect it deserves. I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and I'll be right here waiting for you in the next video. My mission is to provide you with the tools and the truth so you can live a long, vibrant life. Don't let the modern world dictate how you age. You have more power than you realize. Until then, I want you to go into your bedroom tonight and reclaim your sanctuary. This is your space, your health, and your future. Make it count. Sleep deep, stay safe, and take care of that beautiful brain of yours. You've earned a good night's rest, so go ahead and make it happen. I am rooting for you every single step of the way.